Is it finally a wake for woke at MSNBC? Starting to feel like it. As you know, Joy Reid got the boot, fired from MSNBC, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving TV host. I think she has been spewing poison, particularly poison of a racial and deeply divisive nature for years on the air. I think that she was the single most toxic personality at MSNBC, and she will no longer be doing what she has done, which is created a very small audience and get paid millions of dollars. I think this is a good thing. And if anyone thinks that it's mean to take a moment to point this out or to just perhaps revel in it a little bit, I would show them that even Greta Van Susteren, not somebody to get into squabbles online, pointed out publicly that when she was fired from MSNBC, Joy Reid liked the tweet from MSNBC announcing it. Liked that she was booted, and she noticed that. People forget. You can see who's liking what on X, on Twitter, and they don't forget those things. I can tell you, I don't forget. Anytime I ever got dog piled on by people on Twitter or dragged on Twitter, and anybody, especially anybody on the right, whoever liked it, oh, trust me, I remember. And everybody remembers those things and those moments when someone wants to take a little cheap shot at you when you are taking a lot of incoming. So Greta Van Susteren noted that Joy Reid is somebody who celebrates other people getting fired, so we can celebrate her getting fired. And we should, because she's horrible. And MSNBC has turned into not just a joke, but also a huge financial liability for NBC, because they don't have any audience, because no one's watching the trash that they put forward, because they lied to their audience for years, and they embarrassed their audience by lying to them in such a way that now everybody in the MSNBC audience must know they were played for fools. I can give you countless examples of this. You have one of the best, Joy Reid saying that Kamala ran a flawless campaign is perhaps the most unintentionally hilarious thing I've ever seen on any cable news show ever. It is one of the all-time greats. And then you also have, in terms of the most obvious and disgraceful lies, you had Joe Scarborough, another MSNBC host, apparently keeping his job, was willing to tell his audience and anybody who would hear that as of, I think it was April or May of last year, Joe Biden was the sharpest he had ever been, just a couple months before the dementia collapse in the debate. So I think we all know that these are individuals who will lie in the most brazen and egregious fashion. It does not upset them. It does not affect them at all, even when they're caught in the lies. And MSNBC is not a place worthy of anyone's respect or time. And even Rachel Maddow over there, I have to say, she's always been wildly overrated. She's not very interesting. She's not very smart. She's smart, but she's not as smart as she thinks she is. And she certainly was wrong about everything related to this election cycle, to Donald Trump, to what really matters in this country, to what the American ideal really is, or ideals really are. She has been a total of the whole getting Trump's tax returns things that she did. It's just awful. It's all trash. This is all garbage content that they have been feeding their audience for years. And here is Maddow showing you that she's still very woke.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got count them, two non-white hosts in primetime. Both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Now, it's easy for her to take this position because she made $30 million last year, which is outrageous. $25 million this year, which is completely insane. That she's commanding this kind of a salary for a cable news network that has nowhere near the audience of, say, Fox News, and has a fraction of the audience that it used to. But remember, these are people who have ties to these left-wing corporate entities, NBC, whoever owns NBC these days, I don't even know who it is. And they're not paid based on a market rate. They're paid based on what do the executives who share their ideologies, what do those executives who preside over much larger public companies, what do they think they should get paid? Right? Because if you're presiding over a large public company, or you're presiding over even just NBC News, for example, you have hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue. You can just decide, well, this person gets 15 million, that person gets 2 million. And it's whatever you say and think, because it's not based on ratings. If it were based on ratings, Joy Reid, for example, would have been fired a long time ago. And it should be very clear. But yeah, Maddow goes through the whole dance about how Joy Reid is her favorite and she's the greatest because she knows that she now has a network that has fired the two minority hosts from the primetime lineup, which for a network that is obsessed with DEI, not a great look. And she also knows that she has to present herself as somehow being still incredibly woke to her audience, even though MSNBC is trying to look less insane. But that's easy to do when you have tens of millions. Rachel Maddow is probably worth, I don't know, $50 to $100 million at this point, something like that, worth a lot of money. And so it's not some brave stand because she's already super rich. And she could start a podcast tomorrow and, do whatever it is that she wants to say on that. So doesn't really even need this anymore. Now let's talk about what's going on with the lunatics who have infiltrated the intelligence community and talk about wanting to have hermaphrodite kids so they can do more for the trans community. I am not making that up. Chris Rufo, hat tip to him for finding this stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. You'll need to shop with Bear Creek Arsenal to find a great rifle or handgun. That's the place to go. They will perform well and feel amazing. I've got 4 Bear Creek Arsenal guns, 3 rifles, and their Grizzly 9mm pistol. Bear Creek Arsenal manufactures its guns from scratch here in America, and you can order them straight from the website at unbeatable, amazingly low prices. And Bear Creek Arsenal is so confident in its products that it offers a lifetime warranty. I've met and spent time with the owners and team at Bear Creek, and they are fantastic. I've even been at the gun range with them. They're good people who want you to have a great, safe shooting experience, whether on the range, hunting, or for whatever you need your firearms to do. Go to bearcreekarsenal.com and check them out. You won't be disappointed. Use my name, Buck, as your coupon code for 10% off your first order. That's bearcreekarsenal.com. Use my coupon name, Buck, or coupon code Buck for 10% off your first order. Yeah, the stuff coming out about the CIA and the NSA and this online chat that has now been leaked is crazy. It's people who are obsessed with trans everything. They themselves, some of them are trans. They talk about what it's like now to use their newly mutilated body parts and what they like and don't like. And this is on a company time on a company server. And the company is the United States government. So they're talking about polycules, which apparently is, I don't even know. It's a bunch of people all having sex with each other. It's like polyamory, but a group of polyamorous people, I think. I had to look some of this stuff up. And on the one hand, this shows you the depth of the infiltration of this really crazy DEI stuff, which has been considered under the Biden administration in particular, mission critical, they say, for the NSA and these other mission critical stuff. Need to have this, they say. And you sit there and you go, what the heck is going on? Like, explain to me how this is such an important thing that we have to focus. The intelligence community is supposed to safeguard America. It's supposed to keep us and our information, our secrets, secret and safe. It has a function. It's not a social engineering experiment, but They decided to change that. And now they're obsessed. I mean, every other week is Trans Awareness Week. I know people. Obviously, I was in the CIA. I know people still inside these places. And they say that it went completely woke and totally nuts. There are people on this chat thread, this NSA, CIA chat thread, who want to be referred to as it because they're non-binary. It. Or they want to be referred to as they, plural. And they have security clearances? Why would somebody... I remember when I was getting my security clearance, there was nothing that, they felt like they couldn't ask me and everything, open book. And I look at this and I go, I don't think that you can trust... I wouldn't trust somebody who wanted to be referred to as it to run a popsicle stand. Never mind to have a top secret clearance to work at the NSA. If you really expect your peers to call you they, you're a loon. There's something wrong with you. You need mental health assistance. And yet you can have a TS clearance and a top secret clearance and everything is supposed to just be fine. How can you trust individuals like this? And I don't mean trust them like they would betray their government, although, maybe not, who knows? But I mean just in their basic judgment. They're living in a fantasy. They're living in a delusion. And they want to voice that delusion on other people. That's what makes it even worse. They want other people to say, oh, I'm a they, or you're a they, or whatever. And they talked about some really gross stuff here, too, which I won't get into right now. But, the removal of genitalia, what it feels like, the tingly feeling when they, go to the bathroom after they have their genitals changed, or, they can't even really change them, but they do this. I'm not going to get into it. Point is, they're talking about this stuff like this is normal on work time. If you had a bunch of guys, isn't this amazing? If you had a bunch of guys in the CIA or the NSA, and I mean normal, like all American guys, okay? If you had them talking about who they think is like a really hot actress these days. I mean, God forbid they talk about who's hot in The Office. That would definitely be. But if they were talking about like which women they think are just like look really beautiful, sexy. Oh, they'd be so worried about sexual harassment lawsuits if this came out. Oh my gosh, how could you be doing this in your time? But you can sit there and say, I want to have a hermaphrodite kid, so that meaning a child that has both parts. That's a quote. Rufo shared that. I mean, that's something real that you want to have a hermaphrodite kid so that you can then raise them truly non-binary and then make them trans later. This is sick people. These are not and they're working in the intelligence community, the surveillance apparatus at the NSA. And we're supposed to think this is normal. This is okay. This is crazy. This is like the weirdo with the shaved head and the mustache, but dresses like a woman who was stealing the handbags and had a top secret clearance and worked for the energy department. He was stealing luggage from airports. Like, that's how he got his kicks. That was his kink, if you will. That's the word that they use in this chat, by the way. Stealing people's luggage from the airport while dressed as a woman. How do you get hired into an agency like that? How do you keep your job if you do this maybe after you're hired? I don't even know. This stuff has all got to go. This is not normal. This is not okay. And so the work that Trump and Doge and Elon and everyone are doing to show this stuff, and like I said, Chris Rufo exposing this particular issue is absolutely essential in this at this point in time. Owning gold as part of your savings account is a smart move. Our federal government has got to print money to pay interest on our national debt, which keeps going up. Anyone, anywhere can and should be investing in gold as part of their savings plan or your 401k or both. Birch Gold Group can help you with this like they have helped me. I've been an investor in gold for years and just recently purchased more from Birch Gold Group myself. So if you haven't yet invested a portion of your savings in gold, now is an ideal time to do it. Birch Gold Group, same company, releasing an all-new study on how gold will fare in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text my name, Buck, the number 989898, or go online to birchgold.com/Buck. Again, text my name, Buck, to the number 989898, or go online to birchgold.com/Buck for your free copy of the Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era. All right, team, that's the show for today. Shields high.